tell you what, it feels good to be back in this seat once again this winter season. It's my promise that KIMT Sports Overtime will be your best source for local action in both Iowa and Minnesota. The fans are starting to pile in. The Indians and Nathan Frederick have the plate blocked. He is out. We are going to extras. The Comets have championship caliber wrestlers, and they have the consistency you need to be a top-tier team. That could be some history in the making this evening. Eric Erdman drives one to the wall in left center. 2-zip for City. Erdman had a fantastic game. That's a wrap for our Iowa Hoops highlights tonight. When we come back, we'll head to Blooming Prairie for the Awesome Blossoms and Triton. I tell you what, if you like the trap offense, this one is for you. The U.S. Anti-Doping Agency announced this afternoon that Armstrong is banned from competition for life. Let's bounce up to Manly for Central Springs and West Hancock. Plus, we're skating on over to the ice. The Waldorf hockey team has a crucial doubleheader at home this weekend. Kelly Schmidt with a great rebound. She'll put it back up and in. Schmidt's going to have a big senior year. And Coach Beamer says it's a group that reminds him of his 2001 state tournament team. Here comes another kill from Jessie Sindlinger. She had 20 of them. Forest City is going to state. 7-5 is the final. These two teams seem to put on a classic every season, and there's no hiding the fact they don't really like each other. Austin Haft gets back points. He gets a tech fall 16-zip, but also realizes a couple wins this year will make that season a distant memory. We'll pick up the action in the first half. Mia Chiaro knocks down a tough jumper as she fell out of bounds. Here comes Johnny Lillo driving down the lane. She gets the finger roll to drop, and the former Riverland star gets the and one. When you're the student athlete of the week, you make runs like this. Check out this run by the senior Mr. Versatility up there. With Jada Buckley leading the way, the red and black should be in some pretty good hands. He's quick enough to play the 3, but strong enough to play the 4. Let's go to game point first set. Here's a quick set to Tori Binger. Comets win 28-26. Now going to responds. Nice feed inside to Brennan Benshotter, who goes glass for a pair. And Zach Wessels does that. It looks a lot like Michael Jordan over Brian Russell from the 1998 NBA Finals. 7 hole-in-ones in one lifetime is a dream for any golfer. Today, I'll settle for one. We're at number 6 at Rice Lake. It's 138 yards. I've got a pitching wedge. That's the best shot in the history of A.J. Ames for an ace. The story today is still Mark Wiseman, a walk-on fullback, playing running back and scoring 3 touchdowns. Good news for an Iowa football team that really needs it. In Iowa City, A.J. Ellingson, KIMT News 3 Sports. It's one of the best traditions in southern Minnesota. Albert Lee and Austin always seem to match up on the final night of the regular season, and tonight there's a lot on the line. Just over 2 years ago, I had the privilege of traveling to the All-Iowa Lawn Tennis Club in Charles City. The land belongs to Mark Kewen, a man with a love of tennis, a lifelong dream of going to Wimbledon. Now, Wimbledon is the crown jewel of grass tennis in the entire world. Kewen knows not everyone gets to go, and when the email came saying it was his turn, he knew he was in store for something special.
I dream big, but Wimbledon exceeded all my expectations.
For several years, Charles City's Mark Kewen had been sending intern request letters to Wimbledon in hopes of joining their grounds crew. But time after time, the answer was no, until something changed just a couple months ago.
I received an invitation to intern with the groundsman for a week, and that was an incredible experience.
And Kewen's trip to England came at a perfect time. He was there the week before the championships began. However, on his first day, Mother Nature played a part.
And when I met Mr. Neil Studley, he said, well, sorry it's raining, but you'll get to see the back of the house. And I did. I was taken to places that people normally don't get to see, all the nooks and crannies.
With all of the access Mark was given, I just had to ask who he met. His list includes the world's #1 player, Novak Djokovic.
He caught balls in his pocket that were hit from a lob, but when he got serious and really started to hit the ball, let me tell you, he's the #1 player in the world, and there's nobody quite like him.
Kewen also had the chance to meet the #1 player in the women's draw, Maria Sharapova.
She stands a good 6'2", and she's all business on the tennis court. But afterwards, she met and greeted all her fans, and she signed my tennis bag, and she was delightful.
And now that he's back, Mark says it's a unique feeling to watch the tournament on TV. He's been behind the scenes, he's met the players, but now he's just a fan.
And just to see the venues that you've just recently been at, and you know what's behind that wall, it's very special.
We will continue talking with Mark Hewen tonight at 10. That story will focus on what he learned from his trip to the All England Club and how he is planning to apply that to his court in Charles City. In fact, we will paint the lines and put up the net at the All Iowa Lawn Tennis Club at 10. Mason City football coach Justin Penner is a stand-up guy. He knows his Mohawks were 2-7 last year, but is currently doing everything he can to make sure that's only a one-time thing. It's also a message he's trying to send to his players on their first day of official practice.
Everything we do is to try to amend the past and really try to create a future of success here.
On day one of official practice, you can tell the Mohawks are excited to get back on the gridiron. This is a team that remembers exactly what happened last season, but also realizes a couple wins this year will make that season a distant memory.
Once you have that hook, then you have to teach them a work ethic and a pattern of behavior. And after that pattern of behavior, then success starts to breed success.
I can see through the players. I can see through the teammates. There's a lot more dedication in the program this year.
Because they're playing a Week 0 game this season, the Mohawks are facing some pressure in getting game ready without that normal preseason schedule.
We have 1 week less this year, so it's just a little more intense. The tempo's a little higher, and I think that's actually good for us. Sets a confidence and a mood to our team.
When we start talking X's and O's, the Mohawks like to run a veer offense. In order for that to be successful, the guys up front have to do their job.
It does start up front, and we have to execute, but on top of that, we just have to be a lot more detail-oriented in every step that we take in practice.
And of course, I had to ask about the Mohawks game with Clear Lake. That's now just over 3 weeks away. The Red and Black say it should be quite the environment.
I want to be in the Mohawk class that we played them, and we want to come out with that win. We want that win really bad.
There are all kinds of storylines for the Mohawks' first 2 games. They face old conference rival Ames in their opener on the 17th. Then the following week, it's those dear friends from Clear Lake in what should be a great environment for high school football. It's now official. Our Sports Overtime Pigskin Preview will air Sunday, August 19th at 10:35 right here on KIMT. We've already been to Rockford and Mason City High. Tomorrow, I'll be at West Hancock and Forest City. We'll have close to 20 teams from both Iowa and Minnesota on the 19th. It is only September 21st, but playoff fever is in full swing tonight. Welcome to KIMT Sports Overtime. I tell you what, tonight's slate of games might be the best we've seen all season. We start with a crucial matchup in Class 2A's District 2. Forest City and Clarion Goldfield are developing quite the rivalry. In fact, this is a rematch of a second-round playoff game last year, which the Cowboys won. Speaking of games with playoff implications, the same can be said about Prairie Valley and Newman. Both teams are 2-0 in District 2 play, but both still have West Hancock on their schedule.
They'll keep running the stuff even if it looks like it isn't there. And I'd like to think we're the same way. You know, we'll keep pounding something until we figure out how to make it work. So we'll have to be pretty diligent the entire game.
I tell you what, if you like the trap offense, this one is for you. Kane Lusher came to play for the Knights all over the field. No one will get away from a tackle like that from the senior. Knights look good on their opening couple of drives. Carter Niedermeyer right up the gut. He takes it down to the Prairie Valley 1. Joe Bergmeyer says, thank you. I'll just do the easy part. 1-yard TD run for Bergmeyer. Second quarter, this one's a little bit more of a difficult run for defense. They shut him down. Nobody really doing much against the Newman offense. Here comes Bergmeyer once again. Newman, big win for them, 28-6. They're still perfect in district play. West Hancock looking to make it 3 wins in a row at Garrigan this evening. We start with Garrigan's Reese Wadley, the sophomore, 25-yard pass to Chris Loss, but after the catch, they couldn't convert. West Hancock now. Here we go. West Hancock highlights, and you know who they're giving the ball to. Chris Slugger, 20-yard run for number 36. That sets up this pass to Josiah Eccles. West Hancock looking good. They bring their offense on the road. They stumble a little bit on the goal line, brings up 4th down, but when they got a guy like Slugger, no really stopping him. West Hancock wins 28-0. Both BK and Lake Mills could really use a win tonight. They try to keep pace for a postseason berth. First drive of the game, it's Hunter Kingland throwing the laser. Paul Pins, great, terrific grab through the air. Same drive, senior Nathan Banward finds a huge hole up the middle. Nice run for number 4. That sets up John Erickson. Touchdown right from the goal line. Lake Mills up 6-zip. On the ensuing kickoff, here comes junior Josh Gavin, shaking a tackle, almost breaking the big play, but there was no big plays to be broken against Lake Mills tonight. Check out this final score, 41-zip Bulldogs. Where have we heard this one before? The St. Andrew football team has a monster matchup on the schedule. Tonight, the 4-0 Saints face 4-0 Southwind. I know it's early, but the district title could be on the line. This is a matchup between the 7th and 3rd ranked teams in the Class 1A poll. Second play of the game, huge run for Southwind. Over there on the far side, that's Jared Schroeder breaking tackles and getting to the edge. That sets up the touchdown handoff to Colton Hageman. 8-zip Southwind in the battle of the heavyweights. Good Saints defense. We know that. They have it every year. The QB's brought down by Sam Heimer. Nice tackle by Sam. Saints come back, a good little run. Here comes Brett Williams. He's a nice speedy guy as well, breaking tackles, getting into the red zone. Safe 4th down attempt, though, will be no good. Southwind pass. They're going to play a little defense here, St. Andrews. We know that. Here comes Brandon Sauls making the interception. Not enough, though. Southwind gets the big win, 28-12. A couple of scores from the Iowa Gridiron tonight. Clear Lake's district winning streak is over. They lose at Humboldt 26-10. Crestwood gets a 2-point win over Western Dubuque. The Riceville football team has a chance to claim victory number 5 this season. In doing so, they will take a large step in the postseason process. Standing in the way is a Northwood Kensett team, a team with the very same goal.
Last year went down to the last game for us, so our opportunities there. We'd like to get this game and have a chance to get in early.
Not only is it a big weekend on the gridiron for the Wildcats, it's also homecoming week. Battle of the defenses in the first half. NK fumbles. Riceville says thank you. Wyatt Holman jumps on top, number 43. Ensuing drive, here comes Justin Anderlich. When you're the student athlete of the week, you make runs like this. Check out this one by the senior Mr. Versatility up there for Riceville. Later in the drive, though, they're trying to punch it in, but Riceville will fumble. It was back and forth all first half. Mitchell Athey recovers. It was scoreless at half, but Riceville explodes in the second half, 26-0 Wildcats. We need to take a quick commercial break, but in no way does that mean our monster night of high school football is over. Osage, we're coming your way for Spear Night when Sports Overtime rolls on.
Stick around! Sports Overtime will be right back!
The Charles City volleyball program has never won a state championship, but this year's Comets team has a shot. They're the #1 team in the state and are just 2 wins away from raising the trophy. But standing in the way tonight in the semifinals is conference rival Waverly Shell Rock, and Chucktown gets off to a great start. First from the service line, that's Jesse Sindlinger with an ace. Let's go to game point, first set. Here's a quick set to Tori Binger. Comets win 28-26. Waverly goes on to take game 2, but Matt Johnson fires up his troops, and here come the Comets. Jesse Sindlinger drives this one right down the line. Comets win game 3, 25-17. Now defense, here's 2 Comets teaming up for the block. Charles City, all kinds of momentum. Here comes another kill from Jesse Sindlinger. She had 20 of them. Haley Hilligus had 53 assists for the second night in a row. And here's the clincher, a genius play from Jackie Foster. Charles City plays an unreal 4th game. They're now heading to the state championship.
Mr. Johnson said you guys haven't lost a 4th game all year, and that hit us so hard. Knowing that the whole entire year, just like playing your hardest the whole entire game, that 4th game was amazing because we did not let up one time.
It's just so exciting. Like, I'm still shaking from the game. It was really exciting. It's just such a big honor to know that we have everybody here and that we're in the finals.
The Comets move on to face Solon in the 4A state championship match tomorrow at noon. We'll be there for highlights and reaction on our evening newscast. For a second round matchup, this is as good as it gets. Both West Hancock and Akron Westfield are top 10 teams. Both are 9-1 in the season, and both won their first round game by double digits. The 7th-ranked Westerners beat Prairie Valley. West Hancock knocked off Woodbury Central. I got out of the car just in time to see this. Chris Slugger in from 3 yards out. 8-zip West Hancock. Here come the Westerners. They're going to the air on their next drive. Corey Eskra goes deep to Chance Hoffman. He's knocked down deep in Eagles territory, but the West Hancock defense steps up big. Pat Smith, a couple of buddies, force a long field goal try. With that stop, the field goal was no good, so Eagles still up 8 in the second quarter. Back to Slugger on the ground. Check out this big-time run. First down, West Hancock. Later in the drive, West Hancock puts it on the turf, and Akron Westfield forces a momentum-changing turnover. They would turn it into points. Here's Eskra to Hoffman once again. This time it's for 6. We are tied at 8. AW has the ball late in the first half. Here comes Taylor James trying to get the lead. He's knocked down at the 1. So in the final play of the half, Westerners go for the lead, but several Eagles make the stop. We were tied at 8 at the break, but Akron Westfield pulls away with a big fourth quarter. They win 28-16. West Hancock finishes the year 9-2. Fresh off their best game of the season in round 1, Clear Lake takes on second-ranked Grinnell from inside the very warm climate Unidome. First start of the game, Eli Dunn goes way deep, right on the money. Zach McGriff is there. Great grab. He's knocked down inside the 5. That sets up this touchdown run by Bryce Lidka. Grinnell up 7-zip. But Clear Lake answers the bell on their next drive. Chandler Dirks, their star long jumper, finds pay dirt. We're tied at 7. So in the first quarter, here come the Comets on the attack. Dunn launching another bomb. This time it's Joe Noasell. He'll break a tackle and trot on in for the touchdown. 14-7 Comets. Next Lions drive, they answer right back. Brock Adams almost falls down, but then he throws it up. Gavin Sheekley's right there in stride. It leads to a field goal. Lions down 14-10. But Clear Lake didn't have an answer for Dunn. The Comets air attack. Here he goes. Noasell once again. He threw for 3 scores, and Grinnell goes on to win 33-10. Clear Lake will finish the season 8-3. They're knocked out in the second round for the second straight year. Garner Hayfield Ventura left town at 1:30 this afternoon to travel out to Hull to take on the top-ranked Comets. Late first quarter, Cards down 21, trying to make something happen. Dylan Schamber gets it on the sack. The drive would stall. BHRV takes over, and Brant Van Rokel throws deep. Andrew Van Ginkel's there. Great coverage. Great catch as well. BHRV up 28. Garner Hayfield Ventura passing the ball again. This time Van Ginkel grabs the interception. Ensuing drive. 4th and long. Van Rokel goes nice and short to Luke Keeble. Makes the cut up the middle. 25 yards to the house. Boyd and Hull Rock Valley, they're really, really good. They win 45-7. GHV ends their year with a 7-4 record. Mike Estes is on a roll, and there's nowhere he'd rather be this Saturday than back in the cage in Mason City with his perfect record and his title on the line. The Iowa Challenge Series will be back in the River City this Saturday night at the North Iowa Fairgrounds. Last time it was here, Mike won the welterweight title, and since then it's only been getting better for the North Iowa native. This weekend, Mike's hoping to take another step toward his dream of competing in the UFC and feels pretty confident with his final preparations.
It's just harder and harder to get in the UFC. But my record speaks for itself, and it's only going to get better because I'm not, December 1st, I'm not going to, there's no way I'm going to lose. I've just trained too hard.
Mike spent last weekend training with one of the best fighters in the Midwest. That's Josh Neer, a professional UFC fighter. He's been in Mike's corner before, and this week it's all about getting him ready to take that next step. Neer is currently at where Mike wants to get, so you can tell he's paying close attention.
I try to just teach them, stuff that actually works in a fight. I think a lot of instructors teach a lot of stuff that doesn't work, so I try to work on the basics and, make them a better fighter from having good basics.
There will also be a couple other familiar faces in the cage this weekend. That includes former Mason City High School wrestler Valentine Flores, who made his MMA debut last time the Iowa Challenge was in town. Also, Nolan Cervantes, one of the top fighters in our area over the past couple of years, will be in action. Nolan also fought and won last time we saw him in Mason City. The doors open at 6:30. The show starts at 7:30.